Hello, my name is Naive Libertarian Politics. Today we are going to do episode 5 of the History of the Republican Party series. This episode of the series will be going over the beginning of the fifth party system, which will be by far the longest system there. Not just because the length of the system, which here says it goes through 1976, but also some say it goes through 1968. There's a very complex when it gets to the end with things, this Southern strategy, which I may make my own video about. But yeah, so let's get straight into it. So we have the fifth party system page to show where we are, and first we're going to show the 1928 presidency. So this episode is going to really be about one man, Herbert Hoover, and how his presidency single-handedly killed the Republican Party for 20 years. So you can see in 1928 he won handily. He beat Democrat Al Smith easy, 444 to 87, easy win, landslide victory. And for the first less than year he was fine supposedly, but then you come around to later on in his presidency, same year, 1929, after he's inaugurated, the stock market crashes, and you see the essentially the end of his what he was going to be able to, the end of his chances in 1932. This is the very beginning. The Great Depression started. You can see that the GDP per capita, according to visualizingeconomics.com. You can see the Great Depression, 1929 stock market crash. Boom! It tanked, and it was. He did not help. He did not help with a lot because Warren G. Harding actually in 1920 he had suffered an economic recession, depression type thing in 1920, 1921, 1920 to 1921, and the thing was he was able to survive it because he really didn't intervene in the economy a lot, as much as Hoover did. And you can see that he did with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which was he signed it into law, and it raised tariffs on lots of things to huge amounts, which created trade wars, which then expanded the size and damage of the Great Depression, and because prices were being raised of things coming in from other countries, which was terrible, and it only expanded the effects of the Great Depression. And you can see that from the beginning of the Great Depression, he had no chance of winning. But I believe that it's what he did, including there's another thing that he did. He went to a lot of big corporate bosses and told them not to lower wages, which sounds nice, but it makes this problem where people normally they'll just reduce wages and people keep their jobs, but if you don't reduce wages, you're gonna have to let them go. It's kind of like, if you say you can't raise wages, it's like all or nothing. You keep them with the same wages, or you fire them with no wages, and you keep them, and you're able to keep the money. If you cannot lower wages, then you are in a bad situation. And it was acts like this, and the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, or the Hoot-Smalley Tariff Act, or the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, that killed the Republican Party all the way until the 50s, and they did not really solidify themselves until 68 with Nixon, but they did not become a constant, have a chance until really they didn't keep continuously winning until 1968. They did win pretty handily in the 50s, but they did not win. They did not win for the next 8 years after that, which it really shows because when 1932 came around, he lost in a huge amount, almost similar to how he beat Alfred Smith. You can see that he had almost won the entire nation except the South and these two states in New England. And you go 4 years later, he's lost almost everything. He's lost almost his entire base because of not only the Great Depression. The Great Depression solidified his loss. It was going to happen in 1932, but had he handled it in any way better, maybe not passed the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, or not told those bosses to not lower wages, he might have had a chance. He could have had a closer election, and he may have not killed the Republican Party for years to come. And if he had not been president, or he had handled what he had done better, the Republican Party would be a different party. It would be a party that would have still been able to win in the 30s and 40s, or at least get close and not be constantly landslide victory beaten. You can see 4 years from now, Franklin Delano Roosevelt will be the first president to gain 500 electoral votes in a single election. It's mind-boggling. It just shows how much Herbert Hoover's actions killed the Republican Party. They absolutely killed the Republican Party. The Great Depression would greatly damage the Republican Party, but how he handled them killed the Republican Party for the next 20 years. What you need to take away from this is that Herbert Hoover he created one of the greatest dark ages, really the only dark age for the Republican Party. He caused it, and he is one of the worst presidents, not only in Republican history, but in American history. Yeah. So, yeah. This is just my opinion. I know I got a little bit fiery, but this is just my opinion. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Expect videos soon. I'm making videos every day. My name is Native Libertarian Politics. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, but expect more videos to come in the future. I'm making videos every day for the most part. Maybe expect a video tomorrow. If not, expect a video on Friday, definitely. Or maybe even Thursday. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.